Good afternoon. Today we will do chapter 4, Method of Deduction, part 3. In this session, we will be studying the rules of inference, that is the third rule, the rule of hypothetical syllogism, and the fourth rule, that is the rule of disjunctive syllogism. Let us see. The rule can be applied only to the conditional statements. The rule states that given two conditional statements in such a way that the consequent of the first conditional statement is same as the antecedent of the second conditional statement. From this, we can infer a third conditional statement which has the antecedent of the first and the consequent of the second conditional statement. Let us take an example. If you attend the lectures regularly, then you can understand the subject. If you understand the subject, then you will develop interest in the subject. Therefore, if you attend the lectures regularly, then you will develop interest in the subject. Let us see the symbolic form. P implies Q, Q implies R, therefore P implies R. Your Q, which is the consequent of the first statement, is same as the antecedent of the second statement. From this, we derive the third conditional statement, which has the antecedent of the first and the consequent of the second. Let us note the rule of HS is applied when two implicative statements are given where the consequent of one statement is same as the antecedent of the second statement. Now let us see the application. Suppose we have the argument A implies B, B implies D, A therefore D. Then you can see that there are two conditional propositions in which the consequent of the first is same as the antecedent of the second. So we can get the third conditional statement which has the antecedent of the first and consequent of the second. So P implies Q, Q implies R, therefore P implies R. A implies B, B implies D, therefore A implies G. Now again you can apply the rule of MP to derive the consequent which is D, and that is the conclusion. We are having with us the antecedent, can derive the consequent. There is only one rule by which we can apply the it and derive the consequent, that is the rule of MP. P implies Q, P therefore Q, A implies D, A therefore D. 4 and 3 MP. Thus we establish the validity of this argument. Now we come to the next, L horseshoe K, M horseshoe L, curl K, therefore curl M. Again here we can apply the rule of HS because L and L is same. Consequent of the second is same as the antecedent of the first. So we can derive the conditional proposition as the antecedent of the second and consequent of the first. We will get M horseshoe K, 2 and 1 HS. Why we write 2 first? Because antecedent is in the second premise and consequent is in the third premise of the step we have derived. Now which rule can you apply here? You can see that the consequent is K. So its negation you have. So you will get the negation of the antecedent by one rule, and that rule is the rule of MT. Here P implies Q, not Q, therefore not P. M implies K, not K, therefore not M. 4 and 3 empty. Thus, we have established the validity of this argument. Now we come to the third example. P implies Q, Q implies R, R implies S, therefore P implies S. Now let us see what is common here. Q and Q is common. We can apply the rule of HS. and you'll get P implies Q, Q implies R, therefore P implies R, P implies Q, Q implies R, therefore P implies R. Now again we can apply the rule of HS. Here R and R is common, so you'll get P implies S by HS rule. 4 and 3 HS. Thus we have established the validity of this argument. Now we go to the next. T implies curl S, S implies W, T therefore W. Here again, consequent of the first conditional proposition is same as the antecedent of the second. You'll get T implies W by HS rule. This is common, so T implies W. Now you can see the antecedent is same, so you can derive the consequent. There is only one rule, and that is the rule of MP. P implies Q, P therefore Q, T implies W, T therefore W. Thus we have established the validity of this argument. Now we come to the fourth rule, the rule of disjunctive syllogism, DS. This rule is based on the basic truth table of disjunction. It states that if the disjunction is true and its first disjunct is false, then the second disjunct must be true. This rule states that let us take an example. Either you are fat or slim. You are not fat, therefore you are slim. Let us take the symbolic form P or Q, not P, therefore Q. Note down that by this rule of DS, we can derive the right disjunct when a disjunctive statement and the negation of its left disjunct is given. Now we take the applications. A implies C, A wedge E, curl C, therefore E. Which rule can you apply here? You can see it is a disjunctive proposition. We cannot apply the rule until and unless we have the negation of A. So first we get the negation of A by which rule? We are having A implies C. We are having the negation of the consequent, so we can get the negation of the antecedent by DS rule. By empty rule. P implies Q, not Q, therefore not P. A implies C, not C, therefore not A. Now we have derived not A, 1 and 2 empty. Now we can apply the rule of DS to get E. P wedge Q, not P, therefore Q. A wedge E, not A, therefore E. 2 and 4 DS. Thus the validity is established. Second, D wedge E, E horseshoe K, G horseshoe K, curl D, therefore K. Now here again you can apply the rule of DS because we are having a disjunctive statement and the negation of the first disjunct. So you can derive the second disjunct. Now once you have derived the second disjunct G, you can apply the rule of MP to derive K because we are having the antecedent with us. We can derive the consequent by only one rule, that is the rule of MP. P implies Q, P therefore Q, G implies K, G therefore K. Thus we have established the validity of this argument. Now we come to the third. Here you can see N implies O, O implies P. O is common and two conditional proposition. We can apply the rule of HS and we'll get N horseshoe P. Once we get N horseshoe P, we are having negation of the consequent, so we can derive the negation of the antecedent by empty rule. P implies Q, not Q, therefore not P. N implies P, not P, therefore not N. Now we can see that we are having N wedge R. We are having the negation of the first disjunct, so we can derive the second disjunct. It is a disjunctive proposition. And this rule is the rule of DS. P wedge Q, not P, therefore Q. N wedge R, not N, therefore R. Now we have established the validity of this argument. Now we come to the fourth one. Curl W implies X, X implies Y, curl Y, curl W, wedge Z, therefore Z. Now let us see which rule can you apply here. You can see Y, it's the consequent and its negation you have in second and three. You can apply the rule of empty. Before that, you can apply the rule of HS also here because we are having XX. You will get curl W implies Y. HS. Now you can apply the rule of MT to get negation of negative W is curl W. MT. Now you can see that you have got curl W. So here you can see it is a disjunctive proposition, fourth row, fourth step. Premise, we are having the negation of W as the first disjunct and the second as Z. So we are having the negation of the first disjunct in sixth premise. So you will get this Z by DS rule. P wedge Q, not P, therefore Q. Not W wedge Z, not W, therefore Z. 4 and 6 DS. Thus we have established the validity of this argument also. So we have finished with 2 more rules. Next session we will do some more rules. Thank you.